All right. Good evening. We will call the meeting to order at 7:03. This is the DRML Trustee Monthly Board Meeting of October 17th, 2024. All right, great. So first of all, agenda adjustments. You go ahead.
Where do we put your letter?
I was going to put that under old business.
Okay.
I was going to suggest doing that. I apologize. I forgot to put that on.
No, I just didn't want
This
to
is the
forget.
same one, September.
Yeah, you can also just send that to me if you want. I can do edits, but we'll
I
talk
had
about that
some
later.
questions.
That's fine.
I have some questions.
Good. Okay, I like that.
About the topics for tonight, executive session?
Yes.
Do they all need to be executive
That
session
they
or
should
no?
be, yes.
They should be.
Okay, I
Okay.
wasn't sure, but I wanted to.
So where did we put that? At the end?
That can go down at the end.
We can do that at the end.
Okay.
That's perfectly fine.
Usually you do that at the end so that the public that came to the meeting can leave.
Exactly.
That's really not an issue for tonight.
You never know.
You never know. Someone might show up. Someone could show up. It's always possible.
That's right.
Always possible. Okay, we'll do that then. Great.
So
Right.
the agenda adjustment is we're going to add the executive session at the end of the meeting and the fundraising letter under old business.
Old business.
Thank you.
And special meeting minutes under,
Oh, the secretary's report. Okay. Thank you. I forgot to add
Okay.
that. Special October minutes. No, it is October. Special October meeting minutes.
October 9th, special meeting.
Okay, thank you. That's good. We should put the date just to be clear. Okay, great. Then we will start. We have any comments from the public? All right, great. We'll move on to policy review.
there's none because budget. took
There's
up a
none
chunk.
because, yes, exactly. I know we have the budget tonight, so. All right, great. Then we will move on to the old business, the letter. I apologize, I didn't send it out right after the last meeting, but let's go for it.
So I had a couple of things.
Okay,
One is in the, this is a question we, the Board of Trustees and library staff, often ask ourselves every day. Is that the Department of Redundancy Department?
most likely. Which paragraph are you?
Right at the very
Oh, yeah,
beginning.
huh.
We often ask ourselves, or we ask ourselves every day.
Okay, thank you.
It's just a little awkward to have both.
All right.
All right, and
You
then
want to just say, we ask ourselves this every day?
that's fine.
We
Yeah.
often,
One or the other.
One or the other.
is there a preference?
Like often.
I like often better.
Okay, then I'll get rid of this as a question and just say, we, the board and library staff often ask ourselves.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
And then, well, we need the Maryberry Theater.
The name of the
The name.
performance. What was the name of the performance? Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Wasn't
we'll-
it
I'll go
Finding
back.
Nemo?
Sorry?
Wasn't it Finding Nemo? The
Don't
very
remember.
back-
I don't recall, but we can, it's gonna be in Abby's report. I should go back and
Okay.
look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
In the second paragraph, if I may go on. Are you finished? I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, please finish. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, we might have duplicate things.
Exactly.
And then the next sentence after performance of,
Mhm.
these events
Show,
there you go.
spell check would not get that. Thank you.
No. And then, going on, it says it is the biggest challenge.
Mhm.
And then I think the next sentence could be down near the end of that, where it says this goes hand in hand with more programs and increased services.
Mhm.
And then jump back to your helpful
Okay.
staff need.
Okay,
Perfect.
I like that. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And then there's an uppercase Y.
First sentence in the next paragraph,
Yes.
after
Oh, yeah.
comma.
And then then we are very thankful for the staff and leadership of the library for their creativity. I was a little confused by that word,
Mm,
creativity, resourcefulness.
That would be a better word, yeah.
I didn't know exactly
I
what you
was-
were getting at with
Well, I think it is, I
creativity.
think it is resourcefulness, being able to figure out how to do more with
With-
what we
Oh,
actually have.
absolutely.
So that is, but it is I mean, it's a bit of resourcefulness and creativity. I don't want,
We could put both
I
in.
wrote dedication. I said creativity and dedication,
Okay. Yeah, it's creativity just struck me as,
right?
okay,
what are they doing that's creative? But we know they're creative.
okay,
but-
so do we want to do resourcefulness and dedication, creativity, dedication? Two rather than
Dedication
three,
is good,
okay,
but, and then you guys could.
I like the resourcefulness because it seems to point toward the mission of the library. They're being resourceful in doing that rather than just being creative.
Just.
You know what I mean?
That's a good
Yeah.
idea, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That
Perfect.
sounds good, great.
Also, in the second paragraph.
Mhm.
Did you know that in September, our master gardeners, master should also be capitalized?
That's true.
That's true.
Our master gardeners, comma, with the help of young kids from Saxon Hill, comma.
That would be better,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'm not a good drama person either, but.
it can go either way, but yes, it's better with the comment.
Yeah, well, with starts a prepositional phrase.
I-
You know, there's always. a
Yes, we
teacher on the-
Excuse me, I just learned, yeah, being Gen X, I have a lot of lead in my blood, so thank you very much.
Oh,
Right in your blood.
Okay.
Who knew?
Anyway.
I have uranium, Sven, so I beat you. From my people.
Okay, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
You set off metal detectors? Geiger
I,
counters?
yeah, or something.
Okay. I'm waiting for
Anything else?
Irene, she's,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
she's
actually
thinking.
made changes earlier today but they don't get saved for everybody, just for me.
yes,
Okay.
yes, this is not a Google Drive,
And this is why I didn't make changes and send it to you.
that's
I just-
totally fine. I will make sure tomorrow to make these changes and then send it back out.
Great.
Immediately.
Begs the question why we're not using Google Drive, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Depends on the abilities of the trustees of the board at the time.
Oh,
Not everyone knows how to use all the Google.
oh,
I thought Google was ubiquitous.
I think the drive, like, on
Google
your
Drive
computer,
thing.
people are useful, but like, we use Google Drive all the time for other things,
Yeah,
right?
right,
'Cause
right.
it's very handy to be able to.
Yeah.
Have people edit your
Yeah.
stuff online, you
And you
know?
don't have to sign in as a Google person, right?
No,
no,
there's a way to do it without using a
Yeah,
Google
yeah.
sign in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a thing about Google,
So I'm sorry if I missed it, but, and
but I'm happy to use Google Drive.
it's not hard. It's
Fine.
really not hard.
It's not.
if there are other things, Irene, if you wanted to just send those,
I just have one more thing.
Okay.
Okay, and so while other books do end up out of circulation,
That's
but
my
still
plan.
end up on your hands,
In your hand.
it
It has to be in your hand.
has to be in your hands, but still, I think that's an awkward sentence. While other books do end up out of circulation, but still end up in your hands.
yeah, that is a little.
That's
Anyhow, that looks
Yeah.
like, that actually looks like, when I read the next sentence, that just is something I wrote and then didn't delete.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
And-
Do we need?
Nah. Then maybe it's a little awkward if it goes from. We make new books and thank everyone for
And
the
thank
big
them.
reference sale, so,
You could say, well, books do end up out of circulation. They still end up in your hands.
maybe that's
Mm.
what I meant is, right,
they
That would
can
kind of
still,
Hook those two things together,
Yeah.
because they're kind of,
yes.
all right,
And then,
Separate.
I will see if I,
then you can bravely put a semicolon after that.
I'll see if I can combine the sentence and make it
Which
even
would make it-
shorter.
Which would make it a small W.
I know.
Bravely go.
Okay, thank you. I will take another look at that, those two sentences, and see if I can rephrase.
Suggest we should change the date to November
Yes,
because there's
it's-
no way this is going out in
No,
October.
I know, that's fine. I'd like to get it out in the beginning of November if we can.
Absolutely.
All depends
It's-
on
it's all-
first stuff.
I know. I know.
Looks good otherwise.
Yep.
Nice job.
Great, yeah.
Did you have any?
It's really,
No, I don't.
Okay, wonderful. Great, I will make, any from there, you, Ellen? Okay, thank you. All right, great, I will make these changes and get it to you guys tomorrow, I promise.
Yeah, I concurred with all the changes, but in that last sentence,
Mhm.
I heard end up and end up twice. So you might want to just.
Yeah.
So
We
they
changed it.
may
Yeah,
end
oh, I
up
see.
out of circulation.
Yeah.
They end
But they-
up in your hands.
I'm going to take those two sentences and rewrite them to maybe, hopefully only make one and shorter.
Mhm.
Great.
Good idea.
Okay. Great, thank you very much. We will move on. New business, well, we have none. We will go on to the secretary's report. Why don't we start with the September minutes? I know Irene just walked out right here.
no,
but-
I just need some water.
Oh, okay. You did, yeah, I assume, Barbara, did you get any comments for September?
So
No, because we don't do them in email anymore. We do them at the meeting.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I do have the September minutes in front of me,
Mhm.
and I'm
Okay.
ready to take changes.
I got it, okay,
that would be me.
okay.
Okay.
God.
Treasurer's report, catastrophe.
Oh, it's not spelled right. Look at that. Yeah.
And Holly will send insurance documents to Sharon.
Where is that?
That's the next line under that catastrophe.
Oh, Holly will send insurance documents to Sharon.
Right, not out for review.
Okay, thank you.
And
Wait.
yep,
Documents to Sharon. Okay, yep,
still under treasurer's report.
yeah.
All current building grants are reimbursement grants.
Thank you. Yep,
My last one is just a suggestion that rather than saying new head clerk, I think we should say Nicholas.
I couldn't remember his name. And
Do you want to keep the
Where
title?
was that?
Also?
Yeah, we can.
Why don't we keep the title just so it's reflected?
What is it?
so Nicholas,
Head clerk. Okay.
Nicholas,
Yes,
our new head clerk, comma, has had a good start. How's that?
perfect.
Great.
That was it for me.
Okay.
Any others? No? Okay,
Okay, so now we will accept
now we
them.
will, well, why don't we vote on the amended minutes? Someone
I
like,
move to accept the minutes, September minutes as amended.
okay, that was Nancy.
Nancy.
And is there a second?
Second.
Irene seconds. All those in favor of accepting September minutes as amended, say aye. Aye, opposed? So passed. All right, good. We'll move on to the October 9th meeting minutes. Do we have any edits? But before we say that, I just want to again say, I think we had a very good starting discussion. I'm glad we did that.
Yes.
And I look forward to the next one.
Good.
I'm glad we kept it to an hour.
Yes.
Any amendments? Corrections? No? If no, we do have to approve these two, correct? Yes.
I move to accept the minutes.
Sharon moves to accept and Peg seconds. All those in favor of accepting the October 9 minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. So passed. Now we get to the fun. Or should we do, I should have asked if we should move committee reports first, just because that's,
I think she can get reports. I think that's
yeah.
Up to you guys.
What do you guys think? Do the committee reports first so we can save everything for the budget and executive? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Because those may go fast.
Yes.
So first, we'll start then with, so we're doing committee reports first, Barbara. First, fundraising.
We're on track for the Mystery Night play October 26th with a rehearsal this tomorrow night evening. That's all going well. The raffle baskets are coming together well. And I think we were going to ask if folks wanted to bring refreshments to Mystery Night. If anybody would like to sign up for something to bring, if you were coming.
we're doing kind of tea-ish thing as us, but it doesn't matter for other people. We're bringing the Bannox and just gonna make some pumpkin bread or banana bread or something.
Bread.
I was gonna make some tea biscuits, like
Oh,
some
that'd be
English
great.
tea biscuits. I think
Perfect.
they're rosemary or something like that. I think
That's
the ones
cool,
we
yeah.
get, okay?
And I think, did I say I was bringing iced tea? Is that what we decided? Because we weren't gonna do
Yeah, we're
hot
gonna
tea,
do iced
right?
tea,
I think,
yeah.
Yeah.
gotta remember to do that.
Did you want the foods as a theme or?
Well, you know, I think because we have the Bannox and some other stuff, it's fine if there's
Other stuff.
other stuff, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
people just come to munch and so, you know,
Yeah.
And
A
they,
gallon of cider, should I bring or no?
oh, that might be nice.
I can make some brownies.
That would be great.
They were a big hit. I mean, we moved a lot of sweets last time.
We did.
People got
I heard
hurt
somebody
at
come in
Mystery
and said,
Fair.
oh, good, they have snacks. Forget the flag.
The crowd.
No.
So that would be good. So thank you for your help with that.
Yeah. Is it, I'm sure.
I think so, yeah.
Pegs, if you could, maybe the week before, just send an email out to everyone, say, just as a reminder and also to bring food or drinks.
Sounds good, yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
um,
I'll bring something, but I don't know what.
okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
I'm out of town, so I won't bring it.
So, I want to make sure, so they're doing advertising through Front Page Forum and stuff or, okay,
Yes, that will ramp up this week.
okay, perfect. Yeah, I just want to make sure we're doing enough advertising. I was gonna send out, if she could send us maybe a blurb so I could post it on my social media and I can send it to other groups I'm part of. That would be helpful and maybe send it to everybody. And then if you guys have other groups that you're part of, send it out, get the word out.
And
Yeah.
a few printouts would be nice too. like
Oh, yeah, that's right.
the
Yeah.
half sheets and things we can put up on.
We did those
bulletin
order
boards.
sheets last time
Yeah.
too, that we could hand out to people, right? Yeah.
Where did we put them last time? I don't remember.
Hardware store.
I think I might have put one in the post office.
Do the post office, I put one in Allen Bean. I mean, we could probably put it at the country store.
Yeah.
Snowflake
Also.
Profits, maybe?
Yeah, why not?
Put one up in St. Thomas Bean.
There you go.
You can do that.
Maybe do one in JCat.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Do
good
they have a
idea.
bulletin board or
Yeah.
place for that?
Yeah,
Maybe-
they do. I
Yeah.
think it's small, but
That's okay.
as long as you're on top.
So in other words, go back a few times and just.
Keep moving yours.
Keep moving it. Keep moving it up. So yeah, as long as we have a couple on.
That'd be
We all
great.
can
Thanks for that,
put
yeah.
some.
So, I mean, we had a good crowd last time, so we're hoping, we're gonna make some more seating rooms, so we're hoping to get, at least as many. if Not a few more, but it was fun last time.
Will we have enough seats?
We'll bring these chairs, we're gonna move the couches out of the way and put chairs so that people have actual seats, because the couches take up a lot of room.
Right, and you may not actually get 3 or 4 people.
You might just get 2 people who don't wanna sit too close to each other, so,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
which is fine in this day and age. So we can put up the chairs, we're gonna move the couches out of the way and put up chairs and
The last time we did it was May, and I was really surprised that we had that many people.
Me too.
On a beautiful Saturday.
Yeah, that's
afternoon,
true.
Late afternoon or
Yeah.
early evening, whatever it was. So I'm hoping that now that it'll be darker, I'm hoping we're gonna have even more people. this
That's a
time.
great, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I was surprised too last time.
Mhm.
That's right before Halloween. so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. In the mood.
In the mood for murder.
Too. Sorry.
Do we, oh, sorry. I know you
ahead.
can't see me. I'll just jump in. Holly, do we have a total for the book sale?
It was in her.
Yeah.
It's in my report.
Oh, okay.
That seems so high. Is that
Yeah.
the highest the most we've ever
I was
made?
just
20.
wondering,
You know, we've made more before, but it was a very good year.
okay,
2147. I was surprised at that.
That's outstanding.
that's great.
Well, that's good because we have that.
So I
Oh, yeah.
outed myself. I didn't do Holly's report.
And I liked your comments that cleaning, and I was a little worried because there weren't as many books, but it sounds like people appreciated maybe
I
not
think so.
having stuff on the floor.
There
not
were a
having
couple
to-
of comments like that we heard.
That's good.
This is only my second year doing it, and for me, it was day and night between last year and this year in terms of just like chaos versus just cleanliness.
Cleanliness.
Yeah, it
So-
really.
Well, and thanks to
Organization.
whoever took all I mean, we had stacks of books, right? I think Barbara moved them and other.
Oh,
people
yeah,
had
she worked
them.
really hard.
Holy smokes,
And
right?
then Barbara's flowers.
Of
Oh, yeah.
course,
Always.
Always.
walking in.
Very
was
classy.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice job. Liz.
So how many books are left?
Not many.
There's none on the floor anywhere.
They're all on the Civil War.
Yes, yes. We have a lot of empty table space.
on the floor.
They're
That's
not-
amazing.
Not many.
There was a teacher that walked out with an awful lot of those Civil War books.
Good.
A lot of Civil War books. Oh, I was so happy.
That's great.
I
Yeah.
had fun working with
discount.
Judy. I want to be friends with Judy. Can I, I need Judy's phone number so she and I can go get a coffee. We had a great time.
Yeah, she is wonderful.
Good.
Who's Judy?
Judy Wade.
Oh.
She lives in the,
She lived in Jericho, right?
yeah, she's a Jericho
Oh,
resident.
That's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Well, nice.
Nice.
And none of them seemed old and smelly. Everything seemed
The-
like in
yes.
good
Yes.
shape.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
books that
We
were
got rid of
yeah.
everything that was old and, because we had a lot that came, remember some, oh man, that one
All
time, that
these
one
were-
person.
All these were new this year. All the old books.
Well, and
Right.
anything that came in that was really nasty, we also put in the shred pile.
Yes, of course.
And we said
Yes, I
something.
took
We just said
those.
we can't take them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Stuff that was
And
really older.
I was really surprised that in the cookbook section, all those, kind of fundraiser cookbooks with the spiral binding, the plastic
Yeah.
spiral binding, man, they went like hotcakes.
No kidding.
And-
No kidding.
Yes,
Right.
and some of the older books that Connie brought in, all of them sold. So you never know, right?
Right.
How about Yuri's Russian history books?
I didn't check that section out. Some,
Some.
but I don't know one about Ukrainian sex, Irene. I don't know if that one.
Oh, did that one get put in that pile? Oh, boy. I was very uncomfortable with that book.
Oh. Sorry.
Well, just I guess a good job. So we learned a lot too,
Yeah.
right? So.
So I was wondering, and this may not be practical at all, but come spring, is there any way we can get whatever's left to North Carolina? Where libraries were destroyed?
Oh. Oh. Nice.
Oh.
What they really, really want is money.
Mhm.
They want to buy the newest books, right?
Yeah.
They can
No,
buy what
well-
they need, yeah.
Maybe the Department of Libraries has some kind of organizing,
Yeah,
they're gonna send a
maybe.
truck down from the state. and
That would be
contribute a
great.
Couple hundred.
And I mean, we could take a look at them and not send them anything that we didn't think was, like a newer author or some author that was popular or something, to make sure that,
Yeah,
we're not
And
sending them
that's-
just any junk we can't get rid of. you know?
I wonder if it's worth a question to the Department of Libraries.
Well, as I mentioned in my report, Kathy Del Neo will be here in October.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. What
Okay.
date was that?
Oh, it's a Thursday. I can't be here.
Next Thursday.
Oh, it must be next Thursday then.
Yes.
I forgot that. What was that?
I'm sorry, again, I skipped over you. I should have done you first.
No, I should put that on my.
Is this Kathy again?
Kathy is the Vermont Commissioner of Libraries for the state of Vermont.
Okay,
Used to be called the state librarian.
okay. So is Joyce still involved in the libraries or
Yeah, she's a library consultant.
she's,
So Kathy Dalneo, Jeanette Schaefer, who's the assistant librarian, and a library consultant who is yet to be named, I would guess probably Kevin, because he lives locally. Will be here on Thursday, October 24th from 1:30 to 2:15.
Is it just to ask questions or are they gonna?
No, they're gonna tour the library and
Well, that's
just
about
chat
5 minutes.
and just chat with people
Oh,
and
great.
yeah,
Okay.
So if we come, we can chat with them too.
absolutely. Yeah.
sounds good. I think I'll,
Yeah. Introduce yourselves as board members. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to make it. Gotta look at my calendar.
okay. And we can ask at that point.
Good.
All right. Yeah, soon. Libraries down there probably wouldn't want anything for
No.
6 months anyway, at least.
Exactly.
Earliest.
True.
There is a library.
I was gonna say they probably have to rebuild.
Yeah, yeah.
At least some of
And
them.
if they're all rebuilding, yeah, it could be quite a while.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
yes, that's very true. All right. Great, thank you
I have
very
a
much.
question.
Yes, go ahead.
So did we jump from fundraising to director's report?
Holly just reported something out from her report. I skipped over director's report completely, but I think after we finish the committee reports, I will go back to Holly.
Okay. Thank you.
So no, not
So
I
really.
just got,
No, because.
So we did not do-
wondered about.
Yeah, Book Barn goes with fundraising, so
Yes.
that's why that was part of my
yes,
report.
yes, but I thought I heard something else. So anyway, thank you.
No, no, good question.
Got it. I just want to keep the minutes reliable.
Yes, thank you. You're probably making faces at us too, so.
No, I am not. I am diligently trying to remember how to spell successful. Okay.
Good, all right.
Somebody's
All right.
got to do it.
And if, so we're done with fundraising, okay, personnel,
That's usually Carolyn.
it's usually what,
Well,
yeah.
Ellen will
Ellen,
say.
Ellen can do
We
that.
just have our, I think the only thing we have currently cooking for that is on the 28th, Monday, we have the workshop and luncheon. So I have it on my calendar to send out a reminder to staff
Thank you.
via Holly and to all of us to remember to bring our potluck items. But I confirmed again with Cassie and she's good. So I think we're good. We might not have, Holly shared with me, I think not every single person is able to make it, but I think that was a long shot of an aspiration. Always, we just did our best to accommodate everyone's schedules that we could and invited everyone, and we'll just move forward because I'm not sure it would have been possible ultimately to have every single person there. So that's the only. What?
You know, how many people might not be there? Is it just one?
I know for sure 2 will not be there.
And Ellen, can you send out what we're supposed to bring to?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep, I have it on my calendar to send out a reminder.
I don't know where.
I want myself a note, all Holly tomorrow.
Yeah, but yeah, nothing else. I think that's just our next.
That's a good start. Reminders are always appreciated.
Yeah, that's the only personnel thing currently that I'm aware of.
I think I have to.
I don't have it
No,
on
I
my
didn't.
calendar,
Look at
so
that.
I'm happy.
Library lunch with staff, diced tomatoes, onions and cubes. Right,
Oh,
right in
I
my
have
calendar.
to-
I'm
here,
so
you wanted
proud.
to
I think I'm
take a look
doing
yourself.
2 times.
I don't know if
Only sometimes.
fully complete, but
It's-
that's
And
what I
and
have.
Ellen said it was about 11 to 12. is
Yep,
the time
mhm,
we're gonna
yeah,
be there. Maybe a
yeah,
little
but
after that, but
Yeah, on the earlier side, so that then they can have, I think Cassie is going to be there a little bit before 12 to kind of set up and get organized. And so folks can have time to kind of regroup and maybe go to the bathroom and get settled. And then we will all
Okay.
leave and leave them to it after we eat with
Got
them.
it. Okay,
Great.
thank you.
Great, thank you.
all right. Sorry, you got me writing on there. Capital planning. Now, I know we had our meeting last week, so we probably do
Good.
not need to speak anything about it at this time, but we'll keep it on the agenda, just in case.
And when is the next in-between meeting?
We decided the second, was it the second Wednesday of every month?
That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, the 13th and 7th.
Yeah.
Yes, I have it in that. Okay. I just-
Good.
just- Okay, good.
It's good to check just in case.
Right.
Great. Okay, then we'll go back to the director's report.
Okay. So I've completed all the paperwork for the donation from the Mary Jane Dickerson estate. It apparently is invested currently. I have a rough idea of how much it will be, but until the actual distribution, I don't know exactly. We are not the only organization, so he's waiting till he gets other papers from other groups. He said probably it would be a month or two yet before we see that.
And we don't have a
That's so
ballpark.
nice of her.
Yeah, we don't have a ballpark figure at all, but
It's a little over $9,000.
Wow. That's so sweet of her.
That was very nice.
And her thing is on the
Saturday,
26th.
yeah.
Yes.
So, oh, the murder mystery game.
Yes.
Luckily, we're not till 7, so.
Probably should mention the name at the beginning of that murder
That's-
mystery game.
Well,
We're gonna do.
That would be good.
Not any question?
Is there any way to, total circulation means physical books. Is there any way
It's
to?
not just physical books, it's also the online stuff, like the
Oh,
ebooks
okay.
and the audiobooks and all that stuff.
Is there any way to capture how many people come in to use the computer?
It's on there.
Where,
Computer use, people interactions.
oh, okay, so during the month, 35 people signed into the computer, or 50 people
No,
in 23.
correct.
So I will say I was here Tuesday,
Tuesday.
and there were probably 4 or 5 people with their own computers, but in here plugging in and using the Wi-Fi and doing work. I mean, they were spread out on the tables. So there were quite a few people in here with their own.
Taking a picture.
Yes.
Got it. Yes,
Next time.
you should have.
Next time.
Oh, my gosh. I always
Take
forget that kind of
pictures.
stuff, but
It's gotta be part of the story later on. is
Yes.
those
I was
people-
surprised because there were people at almost every table in there with their own computers and working. I mean, obviously working, because it wasn't just, hanging out, they were working. And then kids came in. I mean, it was busy in there.
I know come on Thursday afternoons, my daughter's at the dance studio,
Yeah.
so I do see at least, 1 to 3 other people working.
Right,
I mean, I bring my computer
Yeah.
too, since it's still work hours, but.
right. So anyways,
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments for Holly? If not, we will go on to,
I
The
have
fun
a
bit.
question.
okay,
Sorry. In the minutes, should I put Mary Jane's name or just not even refer to that or?
No, I
'Cause-
think you could put that Mary Jane Dickerson.
Okay,
Just something about.
Without even getting into the money, just she passed and we thank her for her service kind of
Right,
thing and leave it
Right,
at that.
just,
yeah,
yeah, she's a past board member and she.
okay. I'll pull something from your report,
Yes.
which I have now read, by the way.
good. All right. Can I move on now, Barbara?
Yes, you may. Thank you, Sven.
All right. Sharon. The floor is yours.
okay. Let's crack the books.
Wait, before we start, anyone need a break before we go? Before we,
Is it gonna be that bad?
well, I don't know, budget meetings can take some time, so.
Holly and I spent an hour on Tuesday, and so I think we're ready. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to say, thank you very much. It looks like you did a ton of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
How unusual for her.
No, I mean, and again, compared to how process was when even I first started, it's so much better.
Very.
And, oh my gosh, I can
So
even
for
read
those
this.
of you on the phone, you have, I sent the copy, right? Okay, you're good? All right.
Yes.
So I took the old files, I kind of alluded to this earlier, that were just mammoth because they went back to, you know, the beginning, and then you couldn't add columns or rows, and it was just horrible. So I've created the new spreadsheets to really focus on what we need to focus on, and then each year it'll be easy for me because it automatically rolls into the annual report that I need to do and the one that I need to send to the town. So there's two separate reports. So that way I don't have to keep cutting and pasting and trying to get things in the same format. So works out really well for me. So H, I, and J, the first three columns that say final, actuals, and budget for 22-23 are really just there for the reference, right? So just for your information, and you can kind of see the way it's kind of morphed as we've gone through time. L, M, and N, final, actuals, and budget 23-24, that's the year we just finished. And if you just scroll to the bottom line for that particular year that we just finished is that we had net income of $9,175.69. And that means we came in pretty much right on budget because we had contingency of, I think it was 8,000 for now. Yeah, 8,000 contingency was booked in our budget. So we pretty much came in right on. There are a lot of pluses, a lot of minuses through the time. You know, the biggest impact we had was from maintenance. The painting was quite a bit more than we had thought it was going to be, but luckily, you know, with the pluses and minuses on other things, you know, we came out pretty well. The impact to that is that if you look even at the year before, the net income was 29,793.57 versus the 9,175.69. And our goal has never been to have a huge net income. That's not our business. But what that does is it changes the dynamics in the budget through time as we go out, because the 29,000 rolled into income for that 2-year budget that we started 2 years after that. And so now we're down to having only 9,000 of income from our current year. So then that means the towns just have to fund more of a current year kind of payment versus carrying over money. But the reason we had so much carryover is that year, prior year, we were coming from COVID years and we weren't spending money. We just didn't buy stuff. There were supply issues. So we were running huge surpluses that we just carried over. And now we're kind of working that off. And so we're back to more of a normal state. But this year you'll see in the budget, it's going to be an impact for the towns. But so that's the actuals. And you can go through that. The thing that kind of distorts it a little bit is in the income section, there's row 8, which is the ARPA grant income. You know, that wasn't in our original budget. So that 116,971.83 was the ARPA grant money we received that we didn't budget for. But then down in your expenses, you have an ARPA expense for the exact same amount. So they just net out from the actuals. But it does distort the income a little bit if you're just looking at the bottom line income number. Then the next row, the next 2 rows are the approved 24-25. So this is the budget that we approved that we are starting to work on now with our actuals. Deb was on vacation, but she and I have some work to do to get the budget loaded and get going for this year for 24-25.
So can I ask a question I should know the answer to? The approved 24-25, that we started operating under that budget in July, right?
Correct, July
Okay.
1st. Yep,
Okay.
exactly. And it's hard because I always have to think about the years because we're actually working on the proposed 25-26 budget, even though we just finished the actual for 23-24.
Right.
So it's always two cycles out. So that 9,000 impacts us.
Yeah.
then. So it's just, you gotta keep going because it's kind of a weird cycle with them.
Yeah,
So, we approved that budget and it's there for you to look at. And then the last two columns are the proposed 25-26. So this is where Holly and I kind of sat down and we started talking through a few things that we want to talk to you guys about. So so from an overall standpoint, if you look at the total income line, which is in blue for those on the right, you can see the total income line. It's like, oh, I don't know, about a quarter of the way down. And total income is 401,640 for us. That's what we're budgeting, which is an increase of only about 6.2%. And we'll show you what was driving that increase, but we tried to minimize that increase. At the same time, if you go back up to lines 3 and 4, which are the tax income for Jericho and the tax income for Underhill, their share of what they need to pay goes up 13.7%. But from a dollar standpoint, and this is what we're going to actually, I'm going to write a little blurb that's kind of in the town report section, is what that really is it's really only 27,000 for Jericho over all the residents. And it's only 16,000 for Underhill for all the residents. But it's a big percentage. And again, the reason is because if you look at that line, that talks about carryover, which is,
Oh, yeah, okay.
right? So we went from 52,000 in 22-23 to 54,000, 23-24 to 29,000 or 24-25. Now we're down to that 9,000.
Okay.
So whatever's not carried over needs to come from the current year.
And we don't have a reserve fund we can use to buffer that stuff.
Well, we're going to talk about how we're already buffering some of that in here. So good lead in. So if you look, okay, we talked about the total income is 401. And if you look 2 rows up from that, there's a line called miscellaneous income. And it's 20,000 for 24-25 and 20,000 for 25-26. So Holly read the contract on this and we're okay. But there's a fund that is a Jesse S. Rawson fund out there that is an investment and it sends us a check once a year. This is separate from that Vermont Community Foundation thing.
Okay.
So we get a check once a year from them. This year it was around 24,000 and we had talked about using that to pay part of the Avonda bill since it was much higher than what we had gotten from the ARPA funds. So this year that money is actually in a reserve fund so that because we got it, we didn't want to put it in income for this year because it's reserved for the Avonda bill when we get it this year. So that's actually in another fund right now. But what we've done is we've actually put in a portion, the 20,000 is coming from that check for those 2 years. We would like to wean ourselves off of that, but we thought we should probably temper this again and just kind of use some of that. I'm okay to take it out if the board wants to, but that's what that's how we're looking to use that $24,000 check.
So with the $20,000 from Deborah Rawson Reserve Fund, or that's not what it's called.
Yeah, the Jesse S. Ross, yeah.
Then we, even with using that, we will be asking for 13.7.
Exactly. If I took that out, I was looking at like 17% or so.
Sure.
So, and I had originally only put in 12 and Holly's like.
so what has happened to that money in the past?
It's gone into the Vermont Community Foundation Fund, which we'll talk about in our next session.
That's that. Okay.
So it's invested. And right now that fund's at 249,000. So that has been, something we've used. What I would do is the 20,000 is going to be in our operating budget, but anything above that we receive, I would put into, because I'm thinking of setting up a third reserve fund. Right now we have a reserve fund that we built for the Jesse S. Rawson Fund that just kind of hangs out that I set there because we needed to put the money someplace until we had to pay the Avonda bills. And then we have our capital reserve fund. I'm thinking I should set up a third one that might be for our expansion project so that, if we get money or if somebody gives us a donation for that specific purpose, that we'll have that totally isolated and covered. Or we can use it to fund some of the capital projects, because you'll see I took some liberties to not
Yeah.
put in all that money.
That's fine.
But I'll tell you what I did with that, so.
Yeah.
So yes, so the 20,000 is. It's not like ideal, because it would be nice to be able to put more of that aside for the expansion or for something special, but, at this point.
So those increases, the benefits are going up 9%.
Right, and
Right.
so I didn't print it because it got too small, so
Yeah.
this, if you remember earlier, this must have been a few months ago, we talked about Blue Cross Blue Shield going up 16%. So I did the math, and because it's part of, there's a couple other things in there, the increase, of course, is only about 8% overall, but that's because of the 16% increase from Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Not because there's a greater number of FTEs,
No, there is none.
it's just that the cost of the program is increased. And then the transfer, I'm just looking for obvious things that have jumped up that would be responsible for the 13.7, and transfer to capital reserve, that's gone up substantially. What was the?
So this
behind
is,
that?
and I think you sent that to everybody, right? I didn't print this out for everybody, but this is the work that Nancy had done. I think you've got a copy of it handy there.
Yeah.
So what I did is, first of all, Nancy, I
Yeah.
think the math on the, one of them, I'm sure the
There's-
group is not right. I think it's only 4,000 per year rather than
Okay,
the 11.
I'll check it.
And then the painting interior, I think 56 came in a little high. Holly and I were chatting about it when we were
Yeah,
trying to
I
figure out what
saw
to
that.
put in there, so.
Yeah, Holly said that we paid, the whole cost was 16K instead of 42.
I
So
don't
that
think the
that,
cost was 42 though.
what?
No, it wasn't. It was.
It was
14
16.
Well, 16,
Okay,
yeah, because
Got it.
we did 11 and the Friends group did
Ah,
4.
okay, got it.
Yeah, you did almost 12.
So,
So it's not
So
just
those numbers
transferring the
changed.
money into the reserve fund, it's paying for expenses that are being paid for out of the reserve fund.
right, so I transfer it from so the operational budget side, that transfer is the money we need from the towns to fund our future projects, our future maintenance, things that we need to do. And what I did is when I got the file, I said, okay, carpet and painting exterior, those are two very near-term things.
Mhm.
And we have some reserve money that we won't use for the Vonda because we don't need it all.
Mhm.
So I would propose that we use existing funds, to pay for the carpet, pay for the painting exterior, so that I don't have to do 19,000 for 1 year to try to get all that money in play. And,
Right,
you know, I don't need to request it. I've already got it. So I took those two things out. I took carpet and I took painting exterior out of the equation. And then I had, I funneled everything down a little bit. I was, man, because I was thinking this is just really hard. I was able to come down to about 21,000 that I thought might be reasonable. And then I might have like 4,000 left from the 20,000 that we get from the Jesse S. Rawson Fund to kind of balance it out. So I was kind of thinking I could probably go with 18,000 for this year. It's probably a little under what we need,
Mhm.
but because the increase is so high, I kind of want to work into it and, you know,
Right.
we'll kind of,
Okay.
we'll try to use our existing funds. We'll see where that comes out once we pay off the Avonda thing, and we might have to do some other work because it's not working right, and who knows what's gonna happen with that. So, and use our existing funds for those two big projects, and then I was gonna try 18 this year, and then next year we'll take another look at this and see if I should increase that 18 for the next budget cycle. If you guys want to go up to 21 or 22 or 23, I think that the numbers come out to that, but you know, I was struggling with increasing by that amount. So I'm not sure where you guys fall. But that was my thoughts.
Yeah, can you, right, just, you don't need to go over it again now, but just like make a paragraph on what your thinking is and,
I can actually send you this back.
yeah,
With my color coding and I put,
and your comments and
yeah,
stuff,
I put my
absolutely.
comments in and my map.
That would
and
be
stuff.
great.
Yeah,
So, and you can, yeah, so
Yeah,
we
I
can
can
all be
resend
on the
it
same
out.
What you're
page.
saying is every little increase would mean a bigger portion from the towns,
Mhm.
just to make, I'm just being clear for me. Okay. That's what I thought. Just want to make sure.
So can I? So we've transferred money to a capital reserve before.
we always do, every year.
Yes,
So how much money is in capital reserve fund now?
So if you have for those on the phone, and I didn't print this out, there is a tab called annual report funds. And in the fund right now is, 94,000, I mean, 93,424.71. And we owe Avonda, I don't know, 40,000 or so.
Okay,
And so that's where I said we had about 50 left in that fund.
Mhm.
So that's where we could pay for a couple of those things. The
okay,
near-term things out of that 50K. I'm hoping there's 50K left. We'll see what happens when we get done with the
When we
whole
wrap
thing.
this up.
But,
Yeah.
okay, good,
so that's how I would cover that.
okay,
And then there's still a little bit left, which makes me feel better if I don't cover the whole thing this year.
Yep.
So I can kind of work
Good.
into it, but,
Mhm.
great,
all right? And I'll say, yes, I can send you that back out with my comments.
good.
So most of the increase could be attributed to building maintenance, including the janitor. Now, I'm just trying to find what
Yeah,
the,
well, let's go through the lines. So
Mhm.
under staffing, we talked about benefits.
Mhm.
We're gonna talk more about salaries and payroll. That went up 5%. That includes two things. It includes extra hours for Susan, and it includes I put in a modest increase, and then we will talk about that
Mhm.
as part of our next session.
Well, you actually can talk about that part now. Because that's something the public needs to know.
The increase in her hours?
On the raise,
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure? Okay.
yes.
All right. So, all right, send these around.
The first time recording.
For those on the
So.
phone, there's a tab in your file called payroll budget.
Mhm.
And on the left side are just different scenarios. So you'll have it on your printouts as well. But there's a scenario option A that says everybody gets a 4% increase. Option B,
thank you.
when everybody gets a 3% increase. Option C, where everybody gets 6%. And I can change it on the computer. If you tell me you want to do 10%, I can tell you instantly what that would do to the budget. So
So
these were just a few scenarios that I worked up, and I put
so in the budget is now reflected which of these options?
up option A.
Option A, okay.
So you can see in option A, there's a total of 230,603.40. So I put 231,000 into the budget for that.
Yeah.
Which
So
is a
that's-
$10,603 increase year to year, of which half of that is the extra hours and half of that is the salary
Mhm.
increase.
Okay.
Okay.
So Susan's hours are going up?
Yes,
That's
yes.
okay,
She's at what now?
She's at 15,
At
this would
15.
put her at 20.
Okay,
is she interested in those extra hours?
Yes.
Oh, good,
wonderful.
we just want to make sure, don't want to put her into panic mode.
So I'm not sure, I don't have, so, as I'm retired from, I used to do budgeting and I used to, give raises to my employees, but I haven't done that in a number of years. I don't know what the market's doing for raises this year in light of all this inflation and stuff. I don't know if anyone has any background, like, I don't know if 4% is considered good, bad, indifferent, is that a reasonable increase for employees at this point? And I don't know, but that's why I did 4, 3, 6, and as I said, I can change it to anything you want, if you want to see what the impact would be.
I can Google it.
Okay.
Helen's usually the one who knows all about this.
Did you hear
Yes,
any
she does.
towns at all in your passing?
No, I haven't. I could ask.
That's
And
just curious.
let me just check something a second. Let me see if I can give you at least an answer that I know. Just a second.
Uh-oh.
Cola is less than 4.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Cola
usually
is less than 3, I think.
Isn't social security going up like 2.6?
Yeah, and I think that's cola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
so that's, okay.
Yeah,
So
I
we-
have a, oops, sorry. I'm sorry I keep interrupting because I can't wave. Well, I can, but you don't see me.
It seems really dark at your end.
New research. No. New research from Seattle-based compensation software firm PayScale finds that U.S. employers are budgeting for 3.8% pay increases next year, down slightly from this year's average of 4%. And then there are studies available, so
And to be
that's just
clear,
one data point.
if you are on the phone, you can see to the right, for what we did for this July 1st, we did 4% for everybody, but 6% for having. So that was, so
And how much are we paying for health? We're paying
There's-
80% or 90% of their health or what?
90% for
Oh.
3 people, not for the whole staff.
Right.
Because they have to have a minimum amount of hours.
I thought it was just
30 hours.
Well, it is 2, but you're.
Oh. Yes.
You're
So-
budgeting for.
Oh, yeah,
in case
yeah,
I'm not
okay.
here.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
That's
so
true.
that's
Thank
the
you.
point. We budgeted the full amount for,
Yeah.
For everybody.
yes, for everybody.
So budgeted it just even if it's not being used.
Correct, because by then, who knows, right?
Yeah, of course. No, of course.
So
Makes
it's
sense.
budgeted for worst case. at this
Yes.
point. So, I mean, it's, it is what it is. I think, we can definitely justify the increased hours. I think that's kind of a no brainer.
Yeah.
And then it sounds like a 4 is reasonable within what you're saying.
Yeah.
Ellen.
Yeah. So
I was
Sharon-
just checking a same cost of living adjust. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
So Sharon, so if there's a $10,000 increase, that's total. That includes the extra hours, right?
It includes the
additional.
extra hours and it includes, because everything goes up a little bit, there's
Oh, I know.
a slight
Yeah.
increase in the
And all that's, I just wondered,
payroll taxes and stuff that we have to pay.
right, so the 220 versus the 230 isn't quite an apples to apples comparison.
No, it is. If you look at the row 19, we're going from 220,000 up to 230.
Well, it is there, but we're getting additional hours.
We are included in that increase, right?
Yes,
If
okay.
if
I
we didn't
just-
increase the hours, it would only have gone up, half
Yeah.
of that.
That was mine.
You're right. Yeah,
Okay.
I get what you're
I
saying.
just wanted to clarify in my brain.
Yeah, and on my notes, it says it's 5,000 for the hours plus
Yep.
the other
Plus the
half is.
Good,
Yeah,
great.
okay, and
Four
so
is good.
those are the big items in there, and then, if you go into the building section. We pretty much put everything, the increases you're seeing are basically like insurance. That's, we're actually paying 8,000, so we kind of just use the actuals. The janitor line, if you remember, Holly had talked to us about changing our cleaning supply services, our cleaning
Mhm.
services, and she's much happier with what we have now, so that is the 33% increase in that line item.
Okay.
We talked about the transfer to capital.
I think the justification for the increase in the janitorial services is the increased use.
Well, that's
of the
true too.
library.
That
And
is
if-
true.
If anybody questions that.
And we just needed with all that usage, we needed a better,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Better cleaning.
yeah, more thorough, I
More
think would be the way, yeah.
Mhm.
And then we talked about the transfer to capital reserve, which,
Mhm.
if you look back a few years ago, we were
It
trying
was
to budget
there.
18,000 a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And that's how come we've ended up with some money that we can actually use now for a couple of things.
Which is
And
good.
then we decreased it because we were trying to just manage the budget. But based on the work that Nancy's done, even 18 is probably a little shy of where we should be, but it's good to get us back into a more normal budget cycle for capital and
What's your sense with your background of what percentage of the budget we would usually have in some kind of reserve fund, ideally in some?
I don't know. I think that we have Nancy's work on capital and we should be meeting that at least as a minimum.
And then a little bit more that would then be able to account for these dips in, and how much we can raise or not raise. That this buffering money, if you will.
Yeah.
So,
And then, your office, everything went up a little bit. I mean, there's nothing spectacular. It's just
Mhm.
everything's gone up.
Mhm.
Just a second, Sharon.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we started budgeting for depreciation.
Yeah,
Now, we're not anymore?
the 11,800 is really morphed into the 18,000, because if you remember when we talked to the CPA, his suggestion was rather than depreciating, which spreads the cost over years
Okay.
that you're gonna
Mhm.
use it, he would prefer that we didn't do that because of because of our nonprofit status or whatever, and do what you did
Okay.
and figure out what we
Good.
need in the future and start budgeting it for it that way.
Okay.
So,
So we don't have to have a budget line. per se
Right.
then. Okay.
exactly.
Right.
I have to work it on at this point, but
Okay.
yeah, we're kind of changing our methodology there a little bit with the help of our CPA.
Yeah, I think, however this gets presented to the towns in our annual meeting, we should probably have a note about that. Just
Usually they
so,
don't ask us much, but I was going to, I've
Just,
actually typed
okay.
up something that
just so,
Holly's gonna have me send it this year, and I'll put a footnote, and I'll add that to the notes that I started writing something. so
okay, thank
I'll add
you.
that to it.
It just strikes me as, oh, it just disappeared.
Yeah.
What's that
well,
about?
It just appeared, and that was
It
because
appeared and then it disappeared.
there was a lot of history behind that one.
Yeah, I get it, I get it.
Things are in much order now.
Mm.
Yeah, they're great.
All right, under technology, the internet, of course, is going up because of the
That's
new
fine.
fiber optic internet.
I think that's worth mentioning in the 2 or 3 sentences that are gonna be communicated to people in town that explains why this increase is happening.
Mhm.
Even though it's a relatively small number,
Mhm.
I think it would be really smart to say, and our costs have increased a little bit because we've got this much faster internet.
Yeah.
So you're kind of selling the program, even though that's not a whole lot more money,
Mhm.
but it
But
just
it's-
helps
yeah.
people figure out, oh yeah, that expense is going up too.
Right. Yeah, I have that already in the thing, and what I'll do is, I will send out what I was gonna send to the town when I send in the budget, I think I send it in November.
Well, we send the draft
No,
one
we
after
send
this
it,
meeting.
we send it after this meeting because they get a chance to comment on it.
Oh, and then I give you my
before
final.
We do the final in
Okay.
November.
Yeah. Do you
I
think they
can
would be
send it out
helpful to
after this
send some
meeting.
comments with the
Absolutely,
draft?
yeah.
Okay.
And then,
And so we vote on accepting it in November, is that right?
So tonight you will vote on accepting the proposed budget to send to the towns and publish for the public.
Yeah.
And then in November, public is invited to come and make comments. And at the November meeting, you will finalize it. And say, this is the budget that we're going to give to the voters to vote on.
Great, thank you.
so November, we approve it, I just wanna make sure.
Correct.
Yes.
And then I resend it to the towns. I
Yes.
must resend it at some point, and then I have the one for the annual report that I give to you.
Mhm.
Okay, so you'll just send me the name of the
Yes.
people that I need to send it to, and I can, after this meeting, send you. Well, it's actually in your copy that you have in your Excel file. There's a town report tab. That's what I actually send to the towns. And I wrote an overview on the right side of that, and you can take a look and read it. The only thing I don't have in there, Nancy, is the comment you just made about the depreciation, and so I can add that.
Great, thank you.
And your sentence there in your notes there, I was a little bit, I know what you're trying to say about the 16% and the COVID and all that, but it's not exactly clear.
Okay. Okay, I'll take a look. So any other questions on the line items or, concern?
I just
Probably
was
concerned.
curious about the new line item, the lost and damaged income and.
Yeah, so I talked to, our bookkeeper about that because it was a slight when we get lost and damaged, people have to reimburse us the money. So there's an income line for the money that we receive from our folks.
Yeah,
But then Holly can choose not to replace that book if it's something that we might not really need to replace.
right.
So what's been happening is then we've been running income in our expense line because I have more income than I had expense. So we just broke it into two pieces so that we can track the income that we get from that versus the expense.
what
Because
you
as we
actually
buy,
spend.
as Holly buys replacement books or CDs or whatever, she actually has the bookkeeper coded to the specific line for
And lost and
replacements.
Yeah.
That's where my money goes, right?
It does.
We do send quite a number of checks to other libraries too.
Oh, I don't get that.
My only comment would be if somebody was really on the outside, that line that says transfer to capital reserve depreciation expense, those people who want to read it, of which there seems like there's very few. I just don't know if that communicates that, if there was parentheses and it said building expenses or, I don't know, but just.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the cell, you don't have an underline between them, so it looks like they're together. Transfer to capital reserve and depreciation expense, but they're two
Oh, on the-
separate line items, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
That makes it stick out.
Yeah, I don't think they're together.
No,
Right.
So that helps a little bit because it makes it clear that they're two different things and that the depreciation expense is dropped off the map, but the transfer to the capital reserve, okay, that I kind of get, but the depreciation, what's that have to do with the capital reserve? And they really don't.
Yeah.
So maybe if those were two different cells rather than one cell in that first column.
well, I just emphasized that they're in different grid lines. So I just went in and put the border darker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
great.
Now, the other thing I could do, I mean, because this is our presentation, we could have just a line for capital reserve and I can combine those since we know that they're kind of replacing each other. I hesitated to do that, but if you think that's clearer, we could certainly do that.
I think it's good to keep them separate since it is an accounting methodology change. You might
Yeah.
want to put an asterisk after the depreciation expense and then put accounting methodology change or something like that.
Yeah,
I'll put it in our notes.
Or in the notes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's something probably at least keep it until the 3-year cycle. It's off the 3-year cycle.
yeah.
yeah.
It's, nobody had asked because we hadn't been running any depreciation
Mhm.
until
2 years ago.
2 years ago because people had dropped that particular thing. They had started it in 2006 and then they did it for a few years and then they dropped it. So we tried to play catch up in 22, 23, and then the CPA, sat with us and said, I don't think you need to do that. Let's just take the total cost of the building and move it into retained earning and not depreciate at this point.
It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. So I have a question about this year.
About what?
This year,
This year?
The one we're in,
Approved.
the current,
right?
okay.
So will Susan start more hours this year?
July 1st.
July 1st, okay,
She will
I'm not
start,
gonna
she will
swear.
start when this budget starts.
okay, that was my question.
The next budget.
July 1st,
Okay, so she'll still
25.
be doing 15 hours until next
Yes.
June 30th. Okay.
Okay,
I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm sorry, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I have severe jet lag. And so I napped a couple of times for a very short
oh, right,
time,
you
so-
were in Italy or something.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, so I went to bed at 8, but woke up at 3,
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Mhm.
so I apologize.
It's okay. Do you need an escort home so you can get there safely?
I hope I will be woken up by the cold air.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? I mean, we all have to be confident that we are
Mhm.
okay with the 6% budget increase, which I think in this day and age is not excessive.
Right.
No.
The way we've managed that is to use some of our Jesse S. Rawson fund, the 20,000 to help us get through another year. And then,
6%.
And hopefully we're lucky and next year it may not need to be so much then again with personnel expenses. always
Exactly, yeah.
Going up a general few percent every year and other things
Right.
that happen. So if it can be minimized the next year, great. If not, the towns know it goes up. So
The healthcare though, being at 8%, that's like,
That's.
yeah.
is that real?
Yeah,
it's
that's pretty-
16% for Blue Cross Blue Shield.
16%.
And
Yeah.
because there are a couple other line items in that line, the overall increase only shows up as the almost
Oh, all right.
9%.
Yeah.
But there's retirement in there and there's healthcare, so both of those line items are in there, and so the
Yeah.
Blue Cross Blue Shield portion is going up to 16%.
Okay, now that makes a lot more sense.
Mhm.
Because I kept
Yeah.
thinking, is something missing here?
Yeah, there's two things in that line.
And
Both.
you'll see it, Wayne, on the spreadsheet that she sent. It's just
Okay.
not printed on our. hard copy.
Yeah, otherwise, I was gonna print it, but then it was like so tiny, I didn't think anyone would be able to read it, so.
I almost brought my.
I
Mac.
I'm like, oh, they won't be able to.
Where's the
Hello, I have a
Hi,
question.
okay, go for it.
Hi. Well, I'm just curious, and I don't know that we've ever even asked this before or if it matters, but do we know what percentage increase like the Park District is asking for, or is that really completely irrelevant?
No, it's probably a good question, I just don't know that
I
it's
have no idea.
available at this point for us, I don't know.
I'm gonna ask
Okay, I was just curious.
next Thursday, I have a meeting about the highway department. And I'm going to the highway department building and I'm gonna ask what the town library, if that came
Oh,
in.
boy.
And then, I'll ask what the park
Oh,
district,
that's a good idea.
maybe they didn't get them yet, but.
They might, if I'm sending ours today, or
Yeah,
next week.
we are usually in sync with the park district as far as when we have to
Mhm.
get stuff to the town.
Mhm.
So, let's see.
Yeah, I don't see Libby ever.
They may have met last night and worked on their budget as well, but I'm not sure.
6% is good though. In this day and age, I
Yeah.
think that's good.
Mhm.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good work, Sharon.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Sharon.
thank you.
I'm very
Yeah.
impressed.
So,
And this, and I,
Holly and.
all of this
And
is
Holly, yeah.
Sharon did one too.
recognizable. I don't feel like it's some arcane thing that you put
Hopefully not.
together.
I
and I'm
didn't make
trying to
those
figure out
numbers
what you. It's pretty easy to read.
Very
Yeah.
readable, very
Appreciate that.
readable.
Yeah.
and,
And
I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure that we did
well, I
approve,
was just,
or do we have to do that separately?
No, it's part of the budget.
Okay, so you're good with the 4%?
Yes.
Yes,
Cause I gotta note that, cause I always forget and then I have to figure it out.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
remember.
sorry, Barbara, you wanted to say something?
oh, I just wanted to thank Sharon for cleaning up all these documents because they were an unbelievable nightmare. And I
Yeah,
know
they
that's a lot
were.
of work,
Yeah.
so thank you for taking that. Yeah.
Okay, so we
Alright.
approve that and you approve the budget as is for that line item. Okay,
Okay,
You gotta vote on it.
well, we need to vote on the budget now.
yeah,
So, if we, whoever wants to make the move, and we have to say the draft. The proposed budget for 24-25 with the total figure of the 401,640.
No, it's not 25, 25, it's
25,
25, 26.
I meant 25-26. Sorry, it's in dark here, so I'm losing my head. So I'll leave that.
oh,
So
sorry, cause that's highlighted and
no, that's
I know, sorry about
no,
that.
that's fine.
Didn't print out very well.
I make a motion to.
Nancy is making the
approve
motion.
The proposed 25-26 budget with a total of 401,640.
Okay, and
401. 6:40.
All right, is there a second?
Go ahead.
I'll second it.
Wayne seconds. Okay, all those in favor
Thank you.
of accepting the proposed 25-26 budget for 401,640, and so we can send it to the town, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and those opposed,
Aye.
nay? All right. One last from the peanut gallery for an aye, so passed. Send it on to the towns, please.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so now we need to, someone needs to make a motion to go into an executive session.
I make a motion, we go into executive session for the purpose of personnel
I second.
And then a
And
second,
contract.
and contracts, okay.
personnel contracts. All right, then all those in favor for an exec. That was Nancy.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. All right, we will go into executive session at 8:18.
No, wait, that. Okay,
I make a motion that we leave executive session at 9:08.
I second.
Irene seconds. All those in favor of ending the
Wait, who
executive session?
seconded?
Irene,
Thank you.
all those in favor of ending the executive session?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay, all right.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Nancy motions to adjourn the meeting. Is there a
I
second?
second it.
All right, well, let's let Barbara second it.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Aye, opposed, nay. Meeting ended at 9:09.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you very much.